Hello, this is Tyler Edlin. Welcome to Brush Sauce Theater, episode 24. If you're into drawing characters, hard surfaced armor, this is the episode for you because I have special guest George Oliveira on here to show us how to do so. So I have a special guest with me today, George from the Brush Sauce Theater Group, and I noticed his work from him posting quite frequently. He's really kind of good at drawing characters and different types of armor, and particularly like the sci-fi stuff. So feel free to say hi here and
Hey,
give yourself.
hi everyone. And
And you do a lot of freelance illustration with your characters right now, right? You've been pretty busy with that.
yeah, I do some freelance. I'm getting some commissions, and usually they ask me for characters. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. That is definitely your specialty, and you're really nailing it lately. So.
Yeah, I discovered recently that my specialty is characters. Yeah, because I really like environments.
Yeah, your environments for your characters have been awesome as well. What I want to do is we're just going to run everybody through a little bit of your process here, and we'll give some tips along the way in terms of how you kind of construct some of these images with the clarity and the materials and your lighting and how you kind of approach all that.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So it seems like you kind of start with at least a fairly decent and well drafted line sketch. Is that true?
Yeah, actually, I don't think it's that well crafted. Pretty crappy, but
Don't be so damn modest. It's good enough,
yeah, it's
right?
good enough. Exactly. I just use it to get my stuff right. Yeah.
Now, at this stage, you're just focusing, or up to this point, you had just focused on your character design, right? You didn't have any kind of plan for the
Yeah.
lighting, the value structure, or even the
Uh,
background, right? You just focused on the design, and then you worked that into an
Yeah,
illustration?
exactly. I basically the character is my most important thing. So first I establish the lighting and where it's coming from, because that's really important. And
And so, yeah, in this case, it looks like you'll have it in the upper
yeah,
left.
exactly. And uh,
Awesome.
and I just block out then the overall colors.
hmm So the first thing you like to do is kind of block out some of the local colors of it. You know, the primary. Not we're not worrying about the material, right? You're just kind of what color is going to be which
Yeah,
part.
exactly. I just worry about that first. Try to take it one thing at a time.
Yeah, that's what I always try to tell people, and no matter what the complexity of any kind of image you're tackling is, don't try to take it all on at once. Just break it down into smaller steps, and then just kind of approach things systematically. Do you find that helps you the best?
Oh yeah, totally. If when you try to tackle too many things at a time, you're gonna get unfocused. I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not gonna come out very good. So take it one thing at a time, and really pay attention to your forms.
Yeah, I think that's if you got a nice drawing, which you have here, then the step number two, and as we'll call it, is to make sure that they read as forms. So that's kind of painting just how the lights based off your lighting. You want to paint how the surfaces are,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You're breaking them up into the simple shapes, and then you can worry about the
Yeah,
details.
yeah. And I really like this start. It's kind of slow, but
hmm
it gets the forms to read really quickly.
Yeah,
And I'm still
absolutely.
learning. I'm still learning it.
Yeah, your technique and all of our processes kind of evolve over time, and we kind of pick up new tricks here and there and try out different things. But I mean, you've been consistently kind of banging these character illustrations out, so that's why I just had to have you on here because I don't have up to this point. I think this is a 20-something episode, and I don't have any kind of rendering of armor specifically like this. So I thought you were just like the perfect person to kind of have on and show and talk a little bit about what you do here.
Thanks. No, man, I'm honored. I'm honored.
How do you get do you to get the nice crispness of the hard surface of an armor like this? Do you end up using the lasso tool at all, or any kind of shapes, or how do you approach to like the nice edge quality that you have here? I see a lot of people struggling with their edge quality.
Yeah, I use the lasso tool sometimes. Yeah, not always. Only
hmm
in the parts where I think it's needed. But it's a very good technique to use the lasso tool. Yeah, you get a really crisp edge, and
hmm
you're gonna see me use it sometimes.
Yeah, you just have this just shows how well you are with a mastery over like the basic brush, you haven't done
Oh yeah,
anything fancy whatsoever yet. You're using like a round hard
yeah,
brush,
exactly.
and you have enough finesse that you can just chisel out this piece.
Oh yeah. Well, I need to. I'm gonna start changing to a more textured brush to see if I get more. I don't know, more edgy stuff.
Hmm. But yeah, this is how I would probably approach something similar as well. Like you can you use the simple brushes, so you're not worried about getting caught up in all the fanciness of a custom brush and all the tricks that can kind of come with those. You're just using the simple bare basic tools, and you're blocking out the form, so it'll at least kind of be accurate to your drawing, which I think is really important. And I see a lot of people skipping that step a lot.
And here I am using the lasso tool. Yeah, yeah. And oh yeah, the round brush is actually pretty good to paint metal
Hmm.
because I don't know, it's just pretty good. I keep using it. I always use it.
Yeah, I felt that it was important to at least mention the brushes a little bit, just because some people get caught up like, oh, I don't have an armor brush or something,
Oh,
so or a metal brush, so I'm not even gonna begin to try to paint this guy, or they do have one and they just overuse it and they clout the whole figure and they lose their forms and their edges and stuff like that. So,
oh no, don't worry about that. The brushes are
hmm,
just to help you. We really the most important thing is to understand your forms and how to paint them. You can use any brush to do that.
yeah, forms definitely is something we're gonna be saying a lot on here because it's absolutely at the top of the totem pole in terms of things you got to kind of nail early on in a character
Yeah,
illustration like
and I'm
this.
still learning. You're gonna see that I erased a lot of the stuff I did because it's not
Hmm.
looking right, and I redo it because it's kind of hard to nail the forms, but you just gotta tackle
Yeah.
them. Yeah,
And I think a lot of that, no matter how much experience you have, I think a lot of kind of coming up with images like this, there is a lot of trial and error that can be involved, and that's just kind of figuring your way out as you go through an image like this,
yeah,
and you just adapt and
yeah.
work through it, right? I think that's what a lot of people have to do. They'll spend 4 hours on something maybe, and it still doesn't look good, and they give up on it. But I think for a lot of us, an image is not going to look great until like that last 30% of it. It's all together.
Yeah, exactly. I For me, it still takes like a long time to finish a piece. That's what I was
Hmm.
talking about earlier. But in the first 30 minutes, it's not gonna look very good. Yeah, but if your drawing is okay, if your idea is okay, and if you want to put in the time, in the last like hour or something, it's gonna start to come up.
Hmm. So how long would you estimate that this image kind of it took you to kind of complete in terms of hours or days or whatever you kind of measured it out to? Just so people just have kind of like a rough idea.
It's I'm still kind of slow, so
Hmm.
it might scare you a little bit, but that's my fault. I really need to
No, 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 don't worry. People just are really kind of curious about
yeah.
this sort of thing. They're always asking, "Hey, how long did that take you?" So
I
that's
don't
the only
I
reason
don't
I kind
know
of.
in hours, but it took me like 5 to 6 days or something.
Yeah, like, so on and off, 5 and 6 days. You
Yeah,
think?
yeah.
Yeah, that's perfectly normal,
Oh
man.
no, I think it's way too long.
You'll get faster over time, that's for
Yeah, yeah.
sure.
I want to get faster because then I can do more work, and that's always important.
And so with this video, we're primarily just we with it when he recorded, he focused kind of just taking one part of the character and the figure
Yeah, yeah,
all the way up, right?
yeah,
And so you're adding. I noticed you added some of the specular highlights, and you're starting to go in there and break up the panel
yeah,
lines.
yeah. And for painting armor in metal, more precisely, you really got to worry about the light sources and the
Mm-hmm.
speculars and the reflective light. Because armor in metal is really reflective. So every light that the environment has, it's gonna bounce off the armor, and really gotta think about that stuff.
Awesome. Now, what did you do any kind of research or reference ahead of time in terms of any artists or what inspires you on an image like
Oh
this?
yeah, yeah. I kind of do some researches. Yeah. Lately, when I paint armor or when I render stuff like this, I really look at Dan Lovisi's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys know Dan Lovisi, he's an
Yeah,
awesome
you did
artist.
Dan
Yeah,
Lovisi.
I look at his stuff. He also is also a really heavy renderer, and it's pretty.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
that's one. if he make if I yeah, that's one thing I really respect about him. He does a lot of things kind of by hand. Like he hasn't jumped on that 3D train and just modeled out a whole
Yeah.
guy like this in ZBrush. Like he does it all kind of by hand and then just uses some photo
Oh yeah,
textures.
oh yeah. And if you guys would like to know a little bit more, Daniel Vicios also has some videos on rendering, and I actually seen a couple, and it's pretty good. It's
Hmm.
pretty good. It's kind of I kind of adapted some of his stuff, and it teaches you a lot.
So yeah, do you find on doing like a guy like this, do you just go section by section, kind of like armor piece by armor piece, or do you jump around a lot more
Oh
than you do you normally jump around a lot more than you're showing in the video? I guess I'm trying to
yeah,
say.
I jump around. Yeah, right here I'm just painting this piece because it's to
Hmm.
show you guys my process. But yeah, usually I jump around the pieces of armor and do it all the same. This is doing something all the way, at least for me, and
Hmm.
rendering just one part all the way. It's not very good because then you're gonna start to get lazy. You're gonna see, oh,
Yeah.
this part is pretty good, but I don't feel like doing the rest. And that's kind of it happens to me sometimes. So
Yeah, it happens to
I try
everybody.
not to do that. But right now I'm just rendering this piece for you guys.
So now you're doing, yeah, you're adding that final bit of texture onto this, right? You're going in now. You're going in with those texture brushes and some of
Yeah,
the.
yeah, exactly.
You got a real nice finish on that. I like that.
And the final drawing, it's not gonna look like this. I did a lot of changes,
Hmm.
but
Yeah, I'll well, send it to me. I'll overlay it at the
oh,
end, and so everybody can see how it.
it's in the end. It's in the end.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, and then at the final step, I see you've just resorted to getting a little bit of help from a photo, which I mean, there's no shame in that at all.
No.
But just to kind of break it down, and some people like to start with a photo, and there's no right or wrong way or things. But I think this is a safe, sound way of getting a nice bit of armor rendered more or less by hand,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
to kind of
And it
just.
gets you those details if you want to put in scratches and stuff like that. It's pretty good. Oh, and here's the final image.
And yeah, so here's how it all turned out. So that's really cool that you ended up making the chest light red and kind of tied it all in together.
Yeah, and that was thanks to you.
And you got the decals on there. That's always awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is a really cool piece. I
It
like
was
this.
kind of plain when I showed you. It was kind of monochromatic, too much green and stuff, and you were absolutely right. And I changed around some stuff.
Yeah, it's good to start with a base color like green, like you had, and then what you can do is add the second like a secondary color to it, and then go in and add like the accents to it. So you've got like a little bit of a unified color scheme between your characters.
Yeah.
And I actually thought of doing, breaking up color schemes for characters like that, but just from the amount of Halo I played, where you have to customize your Spartan, right? And you have to, you can pick the little color accents, and you can kind of see how much it adds to them and stuff. Just, it's something, anything could be a reference.
Oh yeah, totally.
But thank you for taking us through this image and everything.
Oh.
And where can people find your work? Do you have a website? Do you
Yeah,
ArtStation?
yeah.
Anything?
I have an art station. I have a DeviantArt, Behance, you name it. Facebook. Okay, my
Awesome.
art station is Jorge Oliveira.
Okay, yeah, I will take all your info and I'll put it in the video
All
description,
right.
and so people can just look down below in the comments, or in the image description there, and you'll be able to check out all of George's
Yeah,
stuff.
and I want to thank you, man, for having me. It's awesome.
No, no, it's a pleasure, and we'll have you on again as soon as you find some new technique in you. You're taking your work even way further than this. Down you will eventually. I know you. We'll get you back on, and we can talk about what you
Oh,
learned.
awesome. Oh, and I
But
also want to thank Adam Duff for you again
mhm.
for the brush sauce, guys. That's awesome. I love brush sauce too.
Awesome, yeah. Shout out to you, Adam. I'm sure he'll be watching this sooner or later. But thank you for watching, everybody.
All right.
Bye. And now for a quick critique session here. I know everyone enjoys them, and while we're on the subject of character design, I'm helping one of my students here, John, with his little scene, and he is definitely kind of approaching a subject that I don't tackle often, and I love these opportunities to kind of dive into this headspace and feel out the character and try to get into this little world that he's kind of creating here. And so my first suggestion was to kind of move up the character a little bit, just to show a little bit more of him, and then to start to work out some of the major shapes and forms with just kind of solid values, like we're just blocking out. because we want to go big, medium, and small with these shapes and kind of have them read as that. Right before that, it was kind of just 2 even ones. So now we have 3, and we're varying it up. And this, at this stage, it's going to be an illustration, but I'm just kind of working on the design right now, more or less, of the character. So I can figure out the background later, and because it's not about the background, this is kind of really just about, this little, a close-up, intimate moment with this character. So that's what's present, and that's what we want to celebrate. We don't need to do foreground, middle ground stuff. No, we're just kind of getting a close-up look at this individual here that is, I'm guessing, some sort of necromancer guy. I forgot, he had a bit of a story for this. And yeah, I'm just kind of fudging a little bit of background detail just to kind of fill it up with a little noise, just to kind of make it a little less static feeling. And that's basically as far as I'd take it, what I have now. And now I can kind of go back and play with the idea of the character's headspace, and how big do I want it? Am I positive I want him looking that way? And I like the idea, but it's not something I'm going to commit to. So I'm thinking this is a tall and slender type of character. So I want to add more of a neck and build up that slender form a bit. And I beefed his neck up a little bit too much there, but that's something I can scale back. And John's really into getting these elaborate type of headwears that is, got a very macabre feeling and is even slightly abstract and surreal to it as well. So I'm going to stick with his original design choices. And then, I play with the idea of, the straps. Like, this is like some giant symbiotic type of armor, and it's just grasping onto his head, and it's sucking his life force out, which is kind of why he's looking so kind of decrepit as is. And, and I love doing this. I mean, even the character story, I can start building my own stories in my head when I'm designing these guys out. And at this stage, I can add just a little bit of form to some of these body parts to them, like the head and stuff, and then going to add the secondary details. Like, if you figure out the main shapes, like the black, the gray, and the white, then you can go back and do like a few of the smaller details. It's a real safe kind of approach I do if I'm designing out my characters like such. But yeah, this is just a session where he presented an idea, and I'm like, well, this is just my suggestion, and I always kind of like to leave it open like that. So, I mean, this is your piece, and I'm just kind of want to show you what some of the possibilities are to really kind of push it both compositionally and in terms of design with the character. Get a little skin on his arm, and get the light in there for the form, and then you could even go back after and add some straps and some cool buckles and really kind of accessorize this out. But I also got to start kind of loose and rough, and then you can just keep building off it idea after idea until it gets, you gotta call it quits at one point or other so you don't over detail things. But yeah, it's a fun little character session we did. This is a time lapse of maybe 15-minute little session we did, but so it doesn't take long to design these types of characters, especially if you're only doing the top half. But I definitely enjoyed it, and I hope someone else out there could take away something from this. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please click like, and if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. It helps me out and keeps you up to date. Now, I'm also available on Facebook and Twitter. Now, if you're itching to learn even more, I have plenty of more full-length and in-depth tutorials in my online shop, covering a variety of subject matters and topics. And going even further, I also offer my own online mentorship. Please just email me for availability and rates. Did you just chime in? Well, feel free to click the last episode right here. Thanks again, and take care.